Hey everyone, I'm Liz Ferry and welcome to another episode of my crochet lessons series. In this episode, we'll be going over in detail the process of making a magic circle. A magic circle, sometimes called a magic ring, is a more advanced method to begin projects in the round from a single central point, much like the chain 3 and slip stitch method of beginning a project in the round. Another technique for amigurumi dolls, the magic circle is used to begin the work without a hole in the middle, like you would get with the chain 3 and slip stitch method. That means there's no need to sew the hole closed when you finish the work, because the work already has a neat, professional-looking center. If you want to see my full video on what you'll need to begin crocheting, check out my crochet materials list video. For the process of making the magic ring, you'll just need yarn, a crochet hook, and a bobby pin. For more information on how to single crochet, and the basics of single crocheting in the round, you can check out my single crochet tutorial, and my single crocheting in the round tutorial. In this video, I won't go into as much detail on how to make the actual stitch. We're just going to build on top of what we learned in those videos to learn to create the magic circle using single crochets. Aside from the single crochet, you'll also need to know how to create the chain stitch, and the slip stitch. You can find all of my crochet lessons in the playlist at the end of this video, or in the description below. So I'm going to begin my basic magic circle by creating a loop with my yarn. I'll start by holding the tail end of the yarn, or the short cut-off end of the yarn, in between the thumb and ring finger of my left hand, and wrapping the working end of the yarn, which is the long end of yarn that's still attached to the skein, over the index and middle fingers of my left hand, while holding the two fingers slightly apart. Then, while holding my hook in the thumb and index of my right hand, I'll insert my right pinky in between the two fingers of my left hand, through the middle of the loop that I wrapped around my fingers. And I'll pinch the top of the loop in between the ring and pinky finger of my right hand, so that it doesn't unravel, and remove the loop from my left hand. Next, I'll grab the working end of the yarn with my index and middle finger of my left hand, and use the thumb and ring finger of my left hand to hold open the loop from the other side. Then I'll insert my hook into the middle of the loop, and using the hook, I'll yarn over and pull up a loop of the working end of the yarn through the middle of the magic circle loop. Next, I'm going to chain 1 to count as the first stitch of the row. Once we close the magic circle, it'll be a little hard to find the chain, so I'll mark the chain 1 I just made by placing a bobby pin over the loop of the chain. And that chain is going to count as the first single crochet stitch on my magic circle. Next, I'll work some more single crochet stitches onto the loop of the magic circle. I want to have 6 stitches total, so I'm going to single crochet 5 more times onto my loop. If you like, you could add more or fewer than 6 stitches to the magic circle, depending on your project. I'm just using 6 because it'll make a flat circle shape. Using fewer stitches than 6 will result in a smaller, more narrow shape, like this tiny triangle I made with just 3 stitches in my magic circle. And using more stitches than 6 will result in a larger, wider shape, like this bigger, slightly ruffled circle that I made with 12 stitches in my magic circle. So I've gotten to the end of 5 more stitches of single crochet. Now I'm going to close my magic circle by simply pulling on the tail end of the yarn until the loop closes completely. Then, to end the circle, I'll slip stitch into the first stitch of the row, which is this chain stitch that I marked with a bobby pin. Then cut off the yarn and pull the cut off end through the loop of the slip stitch. You might need to pull on the tail one more time just to make sure the loop of the magic circle stays closed. A basic magic circle will pull apart relatively easily, unless you secure the end of the yarn by sewing it into your project. Now let's go over that again to review. Begin the magic circle by holding the tail end of the yarn in between your left thumb and ring finger, and wrapping the working end of the yarn over the left index and middle finger, holding the 2 fingers slightly apart. Then, while holding the hook in your right thumb and index, insert the right pinky in between the 2 fingers of your left hand through the middle of the loop wrapped around your fingers. Pinch the top of the loop in between the right ring and pinky fingers, and remove the loop from your left hand. Next, grab the working end of the yarn with the index and middle finger of your left hand, and use the thumb and ring finger of your left hand to hold open the loop. Then insert the hook into the middle of the loop, pull up a loop of the working end of the yarn through the middle of the magic circle loop, and chain 1 to count as the first stitch of the row. Mark that stitch as the first stitch, then work 5 more single crochet stitches onto the loop of the magic circle. Once you finish creating 5 more stitches, close the magic circle by simply pulling on the tail end of the yarn until the loop closes completely. Then, to end the circle, slip stitch to the first stitch of the row, cut off the yarn, and pull the cut off end through the loop of the slip stitch. The basic magic circle will make a huge difference in the quality of your work. You can use this technique for parts of dolls, like heads, arms, and legs, or for clothing pieces, like hats and socks. This technique isn't as secure as the double magic circle, though. I'll show you how to make that in a future video. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a like and share it on social media. And if you'd really like to help out the channel, you can donate to my Patreon. You can get some pretty cool perks through Patreon, like seeing my videos early, access to some of my prototype patterns, and discounts in my Ravelry store, depending on your level of donation. You can find out more about that at patreon.com/fairyrings. You could also subscribe and click the bell icon so that you don't miss the next episode of this series when it comes out. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!